Hi and welcome to this week's Weekly Wisdom. So I'm keeping my door open today because A, it's boiling in here even with my blackout blind on, and also my dog has gone to sleep. Look, let me show you. And anyone with a dog knows that once your dog is sleeping you can't disturb them. So look, there he is. He's really old. He's going to be celebrating his 14th birthday in like 10 days time. So I'm going to leave him there, and then it means I don't get boiling hot either, which is going to be fun because it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. It's proper sunny here in the UK. We are having our official summer. So welcome if this is the first time you've watched a Weekly Wisdom. If it's not, or you're catching on the replay, say hello to me. And ask questions, answer questions as you go, as though you are with me live. If you are with me live, a huge welcome. It's fabulous to have you. So let me give you a quick recap as to where we are. We are doing a month, 30 days of hints, tips, strategies, tools, techniques to get you seen and get you signed, because that's what I'm all about. I help results-driven coaches to be able to share their message in a way that feels really, really good for them to be able to do it, that gets them seen by the right people, attracts them towards them, and makes the whole sales process and serving so much easier. Because when you've sold to people who are a good fit, it means that they're going to get amazing results from working with you. So as we've gone through each week, I have been sharing on a daily basis little tips, so you can find them all. If you look back in the group, you can find every single day. And this last week has all been about different ways to get you seen. Different ways to get you seen without you feeling spammy, because we all feel that, don't we? We're like creating that post going, oh, I better not post again because, oh, it's getting really boring now. Or, you know, tell me what thoughts go through your head when you're trying to think of that post, or you're posting maybe again and you think, oh, I'm sure I'm starting to feel like I'm badgering people about this thing, especially if you are including a call to action. What tends to happen is that we can post loads and loads of quality content, but then we leave the call to action to the end. Hey Samantha, great to have you here. And we leave that call to action because we don't want to feel spammy. We've all had that sales experience, haven't we, where it's been pressured and it's made us feel really like, ew. But we don't want to be that person, so we try and avoid it at all costs. But there is another way. You can show up just totally as yourself, enjoy what you do, share your message, and then of course you're going to attract the right people towards you. Because if you're sharing your message in a way that doesn't feel right for you, it does ultimately show. It's like that kind of slightly uncomfortable sense when somebody's watching you and then you're watching them and everybody just feels really, really uncomfortable. You're just starting out, fabulous. So tell me about where you are in terms of do you know who you're going to serve? Do you know what your business looks like? Have you had any clients yet? Tell me all the things, because I can share some specific examples as we go through this session. So today we're going to talk about how and some specific methodologies that you might consider using for you, and then I've got something to share with you at the end, which really, really excited to share this with you. And it's very much unprepared and I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to share it with you today. It's probably earlier than it's ready, but I'll tell you about that in a second. Okay, so in terms of the progression that we've done across each of the weeks, and again you can go back and look at any of the previous weekly wisdoms on these topics. I don't delete anything off here, even if all the tech goes wrong. I tend to be able to keep most of them in, so you can find all sorts of content in here. Oh, self-love mindset coach, oh, love it. Yes, so all about that, starting everything from within. The first week that we did this starting this series, we talked about the ideal client, because once you know who your person is and who is the most amazing good fit for your business and you, then you can start to make some better quality connections. So we talked all about the importance and the process of identifying who your person is. We even talked about going and sitting with that person and like having that metaphorical conversation with them as to where they are and what they need help and support with. Tons of content in that one. So now we're talking about, okay, so now you know your person, how are we going to get out there? How are we going to get seen by our person? So the truth is, there are so many different ways. If any of you haven't had the 50 ways to get visible for free sent to you, it's like a PDF with a ton of ideas on it, then just drop me a message or drop a comment in here and I'll make sure that you get a copy of that, because that's designed just to start that ideas process going, to get the bit of creativity around, well, actually I don't like doing that, but actually I quite like doing that, or I like the idea of video but I don't want to go live, or I like sharing written content but I don't want to use that. You know, it really does give you lots and lots of options. I think I'll send it. I'll drop it in when we're finished. I'm very much a big believer in, if you find your kind of groove with how you want to show up, you're much more likely to do it a bit more often. If I was to sit here and say, well, you've got to use this and you've got to use this platform and you need to do live video and you've got to, you're going to be in that shoulds energy, and that isn't your energy. It's not what you desire. It's not how you want to show up. Now there's a difference, and I'm just going to caveat this. There's a difference between feeling a little bit uncomfortable because maybe you've not done it before, in comparison to just, it's not you. It just does not work. It does not fit. So that difference might be you're a bit nervous about going live because you don't like how your voice sounds, or you get really distracted by your own face, or it just feels a bit like, oh, I'm not really sure, compared to an absolute like fundamental fear, and you know that it's going to take a lot of work to get past. So nervousness because something is new is not a reason to not do it. It could be your perfect route to be able to connect with your person. Kelsey, hi, I've just been told that you're watching, so hi, nice to have you here too. So let's talk about a couple of examples of how you can use your newfound clarity on who you want to serve to be able to then take that out into the world, and how you're going to connect with them. So one of the first areas I talked about this week, and I'm desperately trying to find the list, was being able to use social media. It's the most obvious one that everyone goes to. It's free, it's in your hand most of the time. But even within the social media umbrella, there's lots of options within there too. So you might like Facebook, that's where we are now. You might like Instagram, you might want to do videos on TikTok. But then within those platforms, there's also levels, aren't there? I had a conversation literally yesterday with somebody who trains people to use LinkedIn, and she's a social media manager focused on LinkedIn. And she said, as she reviewed my profile and she had a look, she said, your profile's great, it all looks really good, you're posting regularly, you're engaging, but you haven't got any video on there. And I was like, oh, no, I kind of reserve my video for my group. She said, yeah, but you know, that's going to really add to the depth of people being able to connect with you. And I was like, yeah, I kind of know that. That's what I sort of support. But just because I know it doesn't mean I always do it. But you get to choose. You know, you get that option of picking a platform and then saying, okay, so on that platform, am I going to share more written content? Do I like doing videos? Do I want to edit my videos? Do I want them to be more in a TikTok style where I can then repurpose them across others? There's so much potential on social media. But let me start by saying having a plan is going to make your life a whole lot easier. What I would always encourage my clients to do is have some kind of like a piece of paper, if that's, you know, as rudimentary as you want to get. Just literally get a piece of paper, make some columns. I used to fold up a piece of paper so you got squares, which were the days of the month, and then start thinking about themes and ways that you can develop your content which is going to make sense to your person. Because of course you know who your person is, don't you? You've already connected with them, you've already got a real clear sense of who they are and what they might want to see from you. So by picking, say, a topic a week and then picking little subtopics from that, it's exactly like I'm doing at the moment. So I got the whole month of June and I said, right, we're going to go through a process. We're effectively going through what my clients go through in my programs. So we start with the ideal client, then once we've established that, we do another couple of bits, but then principally we will move to how do you share your message, then we move to, well, what does your offer look like, and then through to like the kind of sales and serving piece. So the content for me for this month literally mirrored that process. Now I've got an overarching topic. Okay, so what can I share within that? then suddenly you've got a plan, and it becomes like so easy to then go, right, okay, so that could be a little post, I just need to do a couple of words or maybe ask a question. That one could be a more in-depth little video. That piece could be a piece that I write. And as long as you're sprinkling it with a little bit of inspiration, maybe some sharing some stories, your own story. You know, if you haven't been working with clients yet, it tends to be all about the success that you've had or what inspired you to get involved in that particular area. So making sure that you've got a bit of a range. You don't just want to be giving content that is salesy. People want to hear your story. They want to hear about, like mine, I left corporate after 20 years without anything to go to, decided I would set up a coaching business, but didn't know how to get clients. I knew how to coach, but didn't know how to get those clients to me. So by learning and investing in myself to learn that, I got myself to the point where I could teach other people to do the same thing. So tell people what it is that kind of got you going. And that makes a huge difference to just giving that variety. So that's social media. What about in person? Do you remember that? We go out, we go see other people. So something like a networking event. I've had quite a few clients recently saying to me, I'm going out in person for the first time. How do I kind of make this work for me? The big thing for me about networking is that it won't be an immediate result, which if you're impatient like me is a bit like, oh, I just want to go once or twice. I don't want to have to go all the time. It won't be. It will be a relationship developer. You've got to look at something like networking, and this is the same for in person or online. You've got to look at it as a long-term plan. So you're going to go, you're going to evolve some relationships, you're going to meet some new people, you're going to grow the people who you're connected with, and then you're probably going to connect them with somebody else. Oh, okay, I don't know whether it's my side. It's not showing me that there's any interruption. So yeah, I hope it's not. If it is, I'll end up re-recording the whole lot again. So the key with networking is having a view as to how you can make that connection as meaningful as possible. And sometimes it isn't telling them even in massive amounts of detail about what you do. It's about listening, because people really want to be listened to. They want to hear what they want to be able to tell their story. They want you to hear their story. So by simply listening to somebody and saying, you know, that's amazing, can we connect? And then you take that relationship further through maybe setting up a separate conversation or agreeing to connect on social media, whatever that looks like. So by showing up as a listener, as opposed to, right, where can I find someone to sell my thing to? That's a bit more of an aggressive, slightly needy feeling energy. If you go just as an open, like, wow, I wonder who I'm going to connect with here, you will invite those connections so much more readily, as opposed to that person who's ending up walking around with like this banner above their head going, do you want to buy my thing? It doesn't tend to work. So allowing yourself to accept that networking is that initial connection, and then you can go away and deepen those relationships. That's a hugely, hugely powerful way, both online and offline, in person. The other thing with networking is to have like an intro statement. So I help people to create what I call their help statement, which, by the way, you can book a help statement review call at any point. As part of this group, you get the chance to do that. Totally free. It's totally me of being of service, again, evolving those relationships. And we sit down and we look at getting really clear on who you help and what you help them to achieve. And you can start to use that when you introduce yourself. So mine is, I help results-driven female coaches to get consistent clients without having to waste hours on social media using a personality-based visibility strategy. Now that might be a bit long if I'm just doing an intro, so I might shorten it and just say, oh, I help female coaches get seen and get signed by helping them with their marketing. So I can shorten it down, or I can lengthen it out, and I could expand on each one of those if someone wanted me to. But knowing that you've got that intro kind of in your back pocket and it flows really easily, that's going to make the whole, oh, I'm not sure what to say, or I don't really know how to describe what I do, all of that goes away. And the rest of it, you can ask some really nice questions. You know, tell me about you. How long have you had your business? What inspired you to start yours? you're being able to be much more relaxed rather than sitting worrying. And I've been to some of these speed networking events as well, where you all sit around in a circle and it's like creeping death. Oh, I'm going to have to speak next. I'm going to have to do my intro and now I don't know what to say. And I've watched people's faces. They're not listening until they get to do theirs, because they're busily like, oh, I'm going to say this and then I'm going to say this. So having yours already prepared really, really helps you. You can use it in all sorts of places. So if you would like me to sit with you and work through a help statement, then again, I'll drop the link in here and you can just, book that. I have a certain number of calls every month just to literally help people do that. So I'd love to do it. So what are the ways? You can use what you do as like an education, so content based. This is something which people tend to get a little bit nervous about, and I've heard people say, oh yeah, but if I give away like some of my content in my free stuff, won't that mean they won't want to buy from me? The absolute opposite is true. The absolute opposite. The more people feel as though you trust both yourself and how you can serve them, the more readily they're going to want to have more and be in your space more. So by having that process and that structure of being able to share through your like little, almost consider them little mini trainings, exactly like this is, having a consciousness that you're not giving it all away. That's a real lack of mentality. You know that there's always going to be more. You know that actually working with someone gets your personal attention and you get to share that collective reciprocal learning together. You're never going to run out of that content. You're always going to be able to be in a position where there is more, where there is an opportunity to deepen that for that person. So don't go in that place of, oh, I don't want to share too much because then they won't buy. Assume that there is plenty more, and share whatever feels right. Like if I have a call sometimes with clients that then inspires me to write a piece of content because something comes up for them and I think, yeah, actually I've heard that before, or that's a really common thing that appears to be coming up more and more for people, so why don't I share some content on that? It's not about giving away your best stuff or keeping it all. You can only ever share a tiny snippet, so give generously. I think the key for me about not being spammy is that you are doing it with the intention of serving. So you set the intention about everything that you do. So are you going and doing a guest speaking engagement? Are you going and sharing a live? Are you creating a video? Are you writing a piece of content? Sit with yourself and decide what the intention of that piece is before you write it. Whenever I start to write any piece or an email or something that's going to be a social media post, I will literally write across the top what the intention is. Is it to give a call to action? Is it to inspire? Is it to get them to think about that thing? Is it to share something that I feel really called to share? Is it because this? Is it? What is the intention behind what you're sharing? If every single time you're writing to get a client, to get them to buy my thing, then what can you do to work through that energy from your perspective? Because it all starts with you. The more times you are in that, oh, I just need someone to buy, where are those clients coming from, why is no one engaging in my posts, the more you're in that energy, the more that's going to creep into what you do. And it comes through. It will come through because you're repetitive in the messaging. It'll come through because it's just got that kind of tone to it. Your posts, your lives, your videos, your whatevers do not all need a call to action. They don't. People reach out to me because of a post. These series of lives, of content that, what am I saying? These series of posts that I'm doing throughout this month haven't got any call to action on. The only one is to remind people about this live if they want to come and see it all brought together. And I'm getting direct messages, I really like this. Can you tell me more about this? It's working without the needing to be one. So set that intention for yourself each time you do it, and you will remove that energy of being spammy because you're showing up to be of service. That should be your primary driver. Right, let me tell you really quickly about the exciting emerging thing that's on its way. And I haven't shared this publicly yet. I've shared it with my clients, but not publicly as yet. I have recently gone through the Sacred Money Archetypes process, let's call it, the assessment, the quiz. If you haven't heard of Sacred Money Archetypes, it is a it's kind of like a personal profiling tool, a bit like human design, Enneagram, DISC, and all of those types of ones. I'd love you to just kind of ring fence the money word for a moment, because it isn't fun. It isn't all about money. It's how money shows up in your life, and the way that you make decisions about money is so often how we do everything else in our lives. If you can hear my kids, by the way, it's because they're playing. They're getting really excited. They're not arguing. They're not fighting. They're playing. Yeah, the way that we do money tends to leak into every other part. So if you make a decision about an investment in one way, you'll tend to have those behavioural traits. So the sacred money archetypes principle is that we all start to understand our own traits so much more clearly. I've been blown away by how well that has profiled both me and the people that I've already started to do this with. I've loved it so much, I'm going to become a certified coach in sacred money archetypes, so I can start to use this as part of my business and bring this into my coaching with the work that I do with my clients. But here's the real kicker for me. Rather than simply using it to help people with money mindset, confidence, all of that piece, the big bit for me is I see how it can be used for marketing. It's like rocket fuel to everything else I was doing. So what I'm going to be doing going forward is bringing this principle into everything that I offer. So the way that my clients at the moment are working through their learning and evolution to create their visibility strategies, they're looking at their ideal clients. They're looking at, I still can't shut the door, the dog is still in the thing. They're looking at their ideal client, they're looking at where their clients are at the moment and how they want to move them through their challenging transition. They're looking at how to create an offer, they're looking at how to attract clients, and then how to sell to them. And they're creating that of their own, and it's obviously very specific to their clients. Where I see the sacred money archetypes is at first you start to understand yourself so much more clearly. And when you understand yourself and your preferences, you start to see how there might be misfits with the way that maybe you've developed your offer or the way that you want to show up. But then further than that, you can look at the other archetypes and you'll be able to see traits in those that will work really, really well with you and traits in those that won't. So for example, I'm an accumulator as my primary. And I know that an accumulator has certain tendencies which get me into overthinking, analysis, and real kind of deep decision making, quite masculine energies. My clients in an ideal would be more of the nurturer type. So they're that slower energy around wanting to just help everybody, but they can't always monetize the way that they do that. So by bringing what I have as a personality trait and putting it against theirs, the two match off really well because I can help them to structure what they do. I can help them build on what they already naturally will do and actually monetize their skill sets. So by knowing who you want to serve, you get almost like a cheat sheet to be able to structure your marketing, structure your offers, structure the way you serve, structure how you show up based on those archetypes. Now, I haven't found anybody yet who is doing this in relation to marketing. Everybody does it around money mindset, wealth management, all of those types of kind of fields. Hey, Tamara. I'm talking, you've missed the core bit. I'm talking about the sacred money archetypes piece again. Nobody appears to be using it in relation to marketing and by being able to evolve your message and your offer. And that for me is the superpower. So what I'm offering as I evolve my program into integrating all of this into the visibility strategy coaching that I'm doing is that there is a beta opportunity for this summer. We're going to start in July. We're going to do July, August and September. By the end of September, I will be certified and I'll be able to include it fully and totally in my 6-month coaching container. So for now, I'm going to be creating the material. We're all going to be testing it out. I want people to get the most amazing results ever from this because it will both prove my theory, it'll get me some amazing testimonials, and most of all, it will show and prove to me that this truly can be applied to marketing. So you are going to get so much of my support. You're going to get hand-holding all the way. You will be so immersed in this program that you can't not get results from it. Because it's new, It's going to be super competitively priced. I haven't done the conversion in my head, but so for UK, it's £1,000. That's it, total. You're going to have 3 one-to-one sessions and you're going to have 10 group sessions. So in those group sessions, there will be me sharing the concept aligned with the structure of my program, and you'll get a chance to discuss it, Q&A at the end, so you can really go ahead and apply it. You will also get constant Voxer access to me, which is gold. Tomorrow you joined at the perfect point. Voxer really helps, doesn't it? By having somebody in your pocket to guide you through those moments of I'm not really sure how to or what to do, it makes the implementation piece so much easier. So you will get that throughout the time you're in the program. So simply, it is £1,000, which will, I don't know what the conversion is and I haven't got anything to do it quickly, about $1,200, judging by my very bad maths on a piece of paper, will be the total investment, and you can split that across 3 months as well. So if this is something which you're going, yeah, actually, I can see how that would work. Maybe you already know your sacred money archetypes, because this is something which, there are other coaches doing it. You might have done the quiz already. You know what your archetype is, but maybe you've not ever been able to apply it, or you can't see how to apply it in your business because you don't do anything related to wealth. That doesn't matter, honestly. Being able to know what yours is and then knowing who you want to connect with and market to is going to make all the difference to you being able to get a message which truly resonates. So if you'd like to find out some more, just drop me a message or drop a comment in here. We'll hook up, we'll have a conversation, Messenger or Zoom, I don't mind. And I'll answer any questions you've got about sacred money archetypes, what it looks like, how you might be able to use it. And yeah, I'm looking to start in early July. The Zoom calls will all be recorded, so if for whatever reason you can't make one, you're going to get access to all the recordings so you can catch up, and you get those 3 one-to-ones as well. I don't even have 3 one-to-ones for the same price, so it's an absolute steal. You'd be mad not to. If you want to take your business and your message out to the world in a really big way, and you want to do it easily, simply, and a way that really aligns with you and your personality, this is gold. This is gold. Any questions, drop them in here. Any more information, there isn't going to be like a funky landing page. I'm not even at that stage. There will be a couple of emails coming out. There'll be a couple of posts that tell you a little bit more about it, and you can sign up from there. So yeah, I would love to see you in there. Oh, tomorrow. Voxer with you is so valuable. Few words of guidance make a huge difference. They do. They literally can keep you on track. It can be the difference between getting down a bit of a black hole and a bit of a dead end, or just kind of verbalizing what's happening with you, and you've got that there for that entire 3 months. So even if the sacred money archetypes piece is a bit kind of a sideline, you're not really fully on board with that, you're kind of getting a compressed version of my entire 6-month program, which is a $6,000 or £5,000 investment right now. There's not going to be a more reasonable way of getting my time and my eyes on your business. So have a think. Drop me a message if you would like to be involved. I will see you same time, same place next week. Next week's theme is all about your offer. So again, thinking about the sacred money archetypes piece, how do you make an offer that aligns with you and how you want to serve? Because if you make an offer that doesn't fit with you, then eventually that's going to show. If you're creating a container that is very long lasting, but actually your personality trait is more kind of quick and getting them rolled through, then that's not going to fit and it's not going to be sustainable for you. So your offer is all about how you position what you do to those perfect people to get those results from working with you. So that's what the theme is all next week. Look out for the posts on those, and we'll be live, as I say, same time, same place, this time next week, talking about bringing all of that piece together under your offer banner, and I'll talk to you a little bit more about the sacred money archetypes piece as well. Go and have an amazing week. Enjoy the sunshine, stay cool if you can, and I'll see you soon. Bye.